Hey, I'm Rob Jones, and welcome to Tech Talk on Loop TV. This edition is the first of 3 parts, looking at Propellerheads' latest software application, Record. As the name suggests, Record was designed for a slightly different customer than the pure MIDI head that Reason was made for. Record instead offers audio recording alongside all the MIDI functionality. So it's the perfect tool for a singer-songwriter who doesn't want to get too involved with all the complexities of a fully fledged digital audio workstation, but still wants to make high-quality tunes. In this episode, we're going to be looking at how to record a guitar and also a vocal, and how to make some simple backing tracks to go with them. So, enough of the talking, let's check out the software. The things I like most about Record are the look and how easy it is to get a good sound. The latter obviously being the most important there, but the former helping a lot too. Where a lot of audio apps go for the stylish, super cool, or even sci-fi decor, Record goes for straight emulation. The instruments and devices all look like the actual hardware, and are all racked up as they would be in a real studio. Although this is done automatically for you, of course. As with Reason though, hitting tab and spinning around the rack means that you can see how it's done, and can even wire things up differently if you want to try out some advanced routing of your own. The software has 3 main view modes, switched using the function keys. F5 calls up the mixer, which is an emulation of an SSL 9000K, complete with all the trimmings, but we'll get onto those. F6 displays the rack, where all the effects and instruments live, and F7 shows you the arrangement. You can also press these function buttons together to show you different combinations of these views, which is a nice touch. Starting in the arrangement then, let's see how easy it is to lay down a track. I'm going to record some guitar first, so I just create an audio track, and then choose the right input on my audio interface on the track, and then I can hear the guitar coming through and see its level popping up on the meter. If I switch over to the mixer view, you can also see the level coming in on the mixer track here. So I can name the track, guitar, and if I want to, I can set up my levels and maybe add some processing via the channel strip, like you would in an actual studio. So I go to the top of the strip and change the input level. Then I can maybe add some compression too, something I've almost completely stopped doing when I record these days. However, unlike in the olden days in the studio, this compression can be removed at a later date, as the record path for the audio coming in isn't going through the mixer first. So you get the best of both worlds really, the feel of a studio with the benefits of software. To sort the guitar out before recording, I can do a number of different things. First I can tune her up, by clicking the tuning fork here. The track then switches to tuner mode, so I can make sure all my strings are set right. Then I can add some amplification. Effects are added just by double-clicking them in the tool window, called up by pressing F8. They then get added to the currently selected track, which basically has its own sub-rack in the main rack here. Record comes with 2 Line 6 guitar processors, one for normal guitar and one for bass. Each one has a whole load of different amp emulation presets, which all sound great. So now let's lay down some guitar. I'll just make sure the tempo's right, 95 BPM ought to do it, and I'm going to stick on my click track, as I don't have any other tracks to play along to. And activate the count-in facility to give me a 4 count before I start recording. I'm also going to set the arrangement to loop over 4 bars. I'll show you why afterwards. Now, let's hit record and go for some takes. The reason I set up that loop is because Record has a cool facility for creating what's called a comped audio clip. This is an audio clip that contains the best bits from several different takes. If I undo that last little bit I recorded, then you can see my last take in the arrangement here. Double-clicking it then shows you all the takes you just recorded, on every repetition of the 4-bar loop. This comp mode view allows you to preview all your takes just by clicking and holding on a track to find the best bits. Then you can create cuts in a take by holding the Apple key on a Mac or Alt key on a PC and clicking on an area. Then just double click on a different take to choose that one for that portion of your clip. And drag the split left or right using the marker at the top to change the length of any section. You can also create fades really easily by dragging on the arrow at the top of a split. So it's really quick and easy to get a good sounding riff. Then you can just copy that loop a few more times to the arrangement, and you've got your verse laid out. Let's create some backing drums now. This is most easily achieved with Dr. Rex, one of Reason's sampling instruments. If you're not familiar with it, then it's basically a loop player that splits loops up into segments, normally divided up by each transient, which is a loud burst of sound caused by, for example, a drum being hit. Once a loop is imported into Dr. Rex, you can trigger each segment using different MIDI notes to play the loop live, or you can rearrange it in the sequencer. So let's double-click Dr. Rex in the tool window, which creates a track for it on the mixer and in the arrangement. And now, load a sample in by choosing an appropriate genre and auditioning a few. I'm not going to worry about rearranging the loop, I'm just going to use it as it is for now. So I click on To Track to place it in my arrangement. While we're doing backing, we may as well add some bass in there as well. As this track's starting to develop a G-Love kind of feel, I'm going to use upright bass rather than synthesized bass. So let's check out Record's NNXT Advanced Sampler. Again, it's easy to get a good sound really quickly. I just scroll through the bass presets and choose upright bass. To now play my bass line, I can use a MIDI keyboard if I have one, or I can hit the F4 key and bring up the on-screen piano keys. These allow me to play the instrument using the QWERTY keyboard. So I can just hit record and play in my bass line. Once I've copied that bass line over in the arrangement, I've got my main riff with backing all laid out. So let's try making another recording now, this time a vocal track. So I select the relevant input and set the level again on the desk. I can also add a gate on the channel strip if I want to get rid of any low-level noise in between the vocal. It basically cuts the signal when it falls below a certain level. La, la. Now I work out which tracks I want to hear in my headphones by muting any on the mixer or arrangement if I want to. I'm going to leave everything on though. I'm even monitoring the vocal itself through Record, which obviously has some delay on it, but I quite like that. Delay's often an effect I add to a voice after recording anyway. So let's go for a take. Open my eyes, can't believe the time. I've slept away most of the day, it's way beyond 9:30. My head's a mess, I must confess, it's so dark outside, it's wrong. I do expect to get anything done when I'm dreaming all day long. Open my eyes, can't believe. So that's the main parts of our verse laid out. And you'll have noticed how quick and easy it was to get a good sound. Next time, we'll continue working on the track by looking at how to use various record effects to process our parts and taking a closer look at the SSL mixer. See you then.